Hey everyone, Assalamualaikum. I'm Aiza Wali and welcome to another inspiring special interview session. And I'm really excited to have Petric Herran sir, a motivational speaker and coach with us today. And today we'll have talk about self-empowerment, motivation, personal growth, and building a better mindset. Thank you so much for joining us, Petric sir. Let's get started our interview. So first of all, hello sir, how are you?
Oh, hello, Aiza. I am doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Okay, so could you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Absolutely. My name is Petric Herran. I'm a philosopher of alignment and coach. I have developed a new movement that is known as conditionless. And the idea is to um, renovate, renew self improvement so that it doesn't cause us so much pain, the pain of inadequacy, the pain of not producing the exact results that we want in our lives. And my experience goes all the way back to 13 years ago when I discovered personal development. Over time, I decided to become a life coach. And I spent the last 7 years trying to start and grow a coaching business and lots of ups and downs. And that journey taught me a lot. And one way or another, the good and the bad led to the creation of Conditionless.
Oh, thank you so much, sir, for your nice introduction. So, can you please tell me what inspired you to become a motivational speaker?
Absolutely. I had this goal for a really long time. I've always admired public speaking. And my biggest difficulty about doing that is that I thought I needed to be a lot more successful for people to want to listen to me, that I needed to grow a successful business, that I needed to have helped a lot of people. And then only then I could, you know, earn the place of being on a stage, sharing my stories and my message and my lessons. That was holding me back for a lot of years. And one day I just decided that there was no reason for me to continue postponing this dream. And I started last year, and I've done like so many things to, become a public speaker. I've been taking courses. I have done more video recordings, speeches. I've been invited to a lot of podcasts. And lastly, I also participated in some speaking contests. So I am very invested in the goal of becoming a professional public speaker. And the biggest reason, really, that was basically all the stuff that was holding me back and what I did afterward. But my biggest reason is that I know that there are millions of people suffering from self improvement, ironically. And what I'm proposing with my philosophy is that we develop a much healthier relationship with self improvement that first helps us become happier in the present moment, and then that it actually allows us to pursue more alignment in our lives, build a path that truly fits us. That's my message.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for your nice message to my audience. So, what does self empowerment mean to you?
Well, the basic idea is that you want to become the best version of who you are. And that's a much bigger statement than it appears to be. Because a lot of people who start in personal development, myself included, or self improvement, they start by finding a very interesting resource. It could be a book or a course or some mentor or expert that they meet. And there's some type of idea that really lands, and that gets you on the journey of self improvement. Unfortunately, I think that there is a big problem with learning so much so deeply from the experts, and that is that you end up following their path, these things that worked for them, thinking that is going to work for us as well. The problem is that we are different people in different contexts who value different things, and we can't just straight up copy the success formula from another person and pretend that it will work perfectly for our lives. So becoming the best version of yourselves has a lot to do with learning from others, yes. But eventually, in my view, you have to later outgrow that identity to choose yourself. Because if you copy the expert too closely, if you imitate them the most perfect way you can, you're not going to exactly get their results as well. You're going to become a copy of them, while you should become a higher version of who you already are. So self improvement has a lot to do with that. That interpretation I have on authenticity. So learn from others, and they don't even need to be experts. Learn from so many people, so many resources. Make up your own ideas, and then try to move forward with that. And last is allow life itself through experimentation to teach you what truly fits. Because often we just don't know until we try it.
Oh, thank you so much, sir, for your nice answer. So, can you please tell me when did your personal growth journey begin, and how can people develop a stronger mindset?
Oh, mindset is a big concept. A mindset, I think, it's often misinterpreted. My theory is that we tend to oversimplify mindset a lot, and we just think that is a one shift evolution from believing something that's limited to believing a new thing that is more empowering, right? This concept works really well, actually. So a good example of a mindset shift is my idea that I couldn't be a public speaker until I was very successful first. So that was a limiting belief that evolved into I can actually become a speaker now. So that type of mindset work is super, super effective. It's super useful. What I found out too is that we are not dividing our beliefs between truths and lies. And I think that sort of black and white thinking is holding people back. Because the idea is that we should be able to evolve our mindset um, towards truer alignment. So, alignment with ourselves, with our circumstances. And that evolution is um, happens all the time. Because sometimes we may think that we moved from a lie to a truth and then just settle for that truth and never question it again. To me, that's a mistake. Because sometimes, I mean, all the time, life just changes. And what you thought was making you more confident or more empowered or more successful it could start limiting you only because life continues changing. So, and one super important thing about mindset is that we mindset is not just about knowing what knowing the better belief and just taking it right away and making it part of yourself. So a lot of experts skip that step where between knowing and doing. They think that knowing is I have the idea and doing means just do it, Nike style. But there are a few gaps sometimes. Mindset can be embraced immediately, many times. For example, let's say that a mindset is the only way to be successful in your career is to um, get a university degree and then find a job in your field, and then you'll eventually keep going up and up until you have that income that supports your perfect lifestyle. So that is a paradigm that's a little bit outdated. Many people still do it today, though, but that's not the only way. That's the key part. That's not the only way. So, and then you find a different thing, like, for example, let's say that you want to be a published author, which I want to be, and then you write a book. Then you don't necessarily need credentials to do that, although they could help. But when you make that shift, that doesn't mean you're automatically going to just do that. Why? Because, for example, you say, well, but the career path of getting a degree and a job seems a lot safer. It seems a lot more stable. It seems like a lot more people do it. So if I do my own thing and walk away from that, what if I fail a lot more? What if I have no idea what to do next? like this path doesn't look at all clear to me. And then what happens after that is that in that particular case is that you know the mindset, uh, moving away from the traditional path, writing your own book, but then you might be too afraid to embody that mindset. And that fear is what a lot of people miss. So the next time you find a mindset that is more empowering, that is more liberating, don't expect to just grab it and go. You're going to have to identify those fears and let them go.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your nice answer. I really appreciate your answer. So, can you please tell me, like, what is one habit that can transfer someone's life?
One habit, I only have to pick one.
Okay, so can you please share with my audience?
Absolutely. To me, maybe one of the best things that you can do for your personal development journey and your life in general is to have clarity on your lifetime objectives. So when I say lifetime objectives, I mean something more than just a goal. I mean, what are those experiences that no matter how long it takes you to get there, will give you happiness and fulfillment? So this is not a goal that is supposed to enable you to accomplish something more. It's just something that you know it's is part of yourself. It's an expression of who you are. And once you identify that, that becomes your direction. That becomes your compass to what you say yes in life and to what you say no. And part of the idea of alignment that I've been talking about is to align life with your purpose. So when an opportunity comes by, you ask yourself, is this aligned with my lifetime objective? When you find a new person, is this aligned with my lifetime objective? And that ability to continue choosing higher alignment in everything that you do in your life is going to really move you forward. So the task itself is to have clarity on what you want to accomplish in a lifetime, not in a year. And then the actual habit is to use that life goal as the moral compass to choose what you allow to get into your life and what you don't.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your interview. So, can you please give me last advice to my audience?
Last advice. So let's talk about alignment a little bit more. And I think that this is gonna be super helpful for your habits because it's very easy to fall into inconsistency. I actually have a very practical tip that has been very helpful for me. So several months ago, I started writing my book, and I remember using one of those calendars where you can mark your days off, right? So you're following me, you probably know this strategy. So you look at your calendar, and every time you do your habit, in my case, he was writing a page or two every day. You put the X. So and then over time, you're gonna have a lot of X's done, and you're gonna feel very proud of yourself. So here's a nuance that is going to be super helpful. Let's say you miss a day, and then you go back to your calendar, and then you did your habit and you put an X, but you see that ugly missing spot, the missing X right there staring at you. It's annoying, it's frustrating, it's the reminder of failure. What do we do? What do we do about this? I never liked the idea of marking X's this way. And I found a very cool trick around it. And that is that when I miss a day, I come back, and the next time I do my habit, I put my next X right next to my last one. Because here's the thing, what's important is showing up to that life changing habit and consistently returning to it. Streaks are not as important as you think. People love bragging about saying, I did this for 100 days, I did this for 300 days, but that doesn't really matter. That's only numbers. What matters is the meaning you are assigning that habit to. And what matters is that you're making progress. And let me tell you this, this is a question for you that I've been wanting to ask in public. And that is, I've been writing my book for 150 days. Right now, my calendar only has 110 X's. So that tells you I'm visually, I see all the X's in there. I don't see empty spaces. But in my mind and heart, I know I missed more than 40 days. So would you say that I have failed? Like when I look at my X's and my math, it looks like I was super inconsistent. But when I grab my notebook and I look at all the pages that I've written, I say, wow, I am close to having a whole book or at least a manuscript. So I ask myself, did I fail? And sincerely, I can say that I didn't fail. So my advice for you is take that good habit that you're trying to execute and try the access on your calendar or whatever tracking system you have. And the moment you lose a day, don't skip that day. Continue putting your access. In fact, don't even use calendar days. It's not April 2nd or April 3rd. Just know that you're taking action one day after another. And even when you miss a day, you are consistently returning. Returning without shame is key to consistency and real change.
Thank you so much, sir, for your nice advice and for you giving me a very wonderful interview. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable thoughts and also experiences with us today. And it was truly inspiring to learn from you today. And thank you to everyone for watching and being part of this session. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. See you in next interview. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.